All right, Mark Douglas, SteelHouse CEO, joins me now. All right, Mark, I want to talk to you about these big tech companies. Huge sell-off today. Can they come back?
Well, of course. I think obviously there's concerns about the holidays. There's concerns about any potential of a recession, but the companies themselves are doing really well. Record profits from Amazon and others.
Who comes out best? I mean, we focus on 5 big-name tech stocks. I'll see if I can remember right. Amazon, Apple, Google, Facebook, Microsoft. They've all sold off. Who comes out of it best?
Apple is by far the best positioned company. They are the most insulated. They basically sell luxury technology products on installment plans to consumers. I think just about anything that happens in the world, Apple's pretty insulated. The product's also made out of glass, so you have to keep buying them. When you look at Amazon and Google, I think they're the most vulnerable. I think any downturn in consumer confidence, anything like that, is going to immediately affect the marketing budgets that go to Google and Amazon. So those are the companies I'd be concerned about.
I mean, these big techs have really taken the wind out of the sail of the whole market.
Yeah, I mean, they are, you also look at Facebook, they have a lot of room to grow. And so but they also have consumers are not using Facebook as much as they should be. So, but look, there's a lot of uncertainty, I think, in the market. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world. I'm obviously not a stock guy, but I think these companies are fundamentally sound and they're going to continue to grow. They're just subject to, the potential for these macro factors to affect their business.
Okay, you're not a stock guy, but I know you follow Netflix. And I distinctly remember you saying that Netflix is going to become either the biggest or certainly the most important media company in the world. Tell me again why you think that.
Well, Netflix, the market cap they have is huge. The company, they added 7 million consumers just in the last 90 days. They're operating worldwide, and and they have the best ability to predict what consumers want to watch. And it's just that combination is just like no other media company has that combination of factors. So Netflix is doing really well. They're a little battered in the last few days about reports about their culture, but I think that that's a side effect of the company doing so well. Some people are always going to be a little unhappy.
Do you think it was a good move to make former President Obama, to give him a section of Netflix, allow him to produce shows for Netflix?
Well, that's interesting. I mean, obviously, there's an audience for that, and obviously there's an audience that's not going to like that. I don't think that people are going to cancel their Netflix subscription. The thing about Netflix, people say Netflix and chill. There's no other media company that people think that they literally plan their weekend around. Or, they're number one on the list for consumers of places where they want to consume content. And that just kind of insulates them from just about any factor, at least in the near term. So, they're picking up a good audience with Obama, and obviously some people are maybe not going to be as happy about it.
Well, it's a worldwide audience. President Obama is popular around the world.
Yeah.
I think it was a very good move to put him on Netflix.
Yeah, obviously. That's a good point. I wasn't even thinking that. I mean, Netflix, people forget, Netflix only started operating worldwide about 2 years ago. I was literally in Europe when Netflix opened up that you can watch Netflix around the world, and they've just continued to add consumers since then, and they have to take into account like that worldwide audience. So you're right. That's I actually agree with that. That's
Mark,
a very good move.
You actually agree with me on something. That's incredible, Mark. But as I recall, Netflix can channel specific programming to specific countries and even to individuals. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's accurate. And because they're investing so much in their own programming, they can do whatever they want with it. They're not the licensed content. Obviously, they have to work out those licenses. But when it's original programming like we're talking about, they can show it anywhere in the world. And then when you go on to Netflix, you see what's tailored to you, and that's their big advantage. Their ability to basically take their content and predict who's going to want to watch it. And now with content like that has a worldwide audience, I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
Sure does. Mark Douglas, thanks as always. Appreciate it. And we'll see you again soon. Got it.
All right.